Hi everyone, I want to talk about what stuttering is, possible causes, my experiences with it, how it is so misunderstood, and how hard I've had to work to make it better. I will talk about how my speech pathologist has helped me and some advice I would give to others who have a speech impediment. Stuttering is a speech impediment where speech does not flow smoothly. It is when a person repeats, prolongs, or gets stuck on words. One possible cause might be that the person's vocal cords are wired differently. Another possible cause is the way that the person's brain is wired, which would mean that one knows what to say, but it just does not come out. My experiences with stuttering growing up was that I would get stuck between words and syllables. For example, I would have a tough time saying Merry Christmas to others, and it is my favorite holiday of the year. Instead, I would say Happy Holidays because it has been easier for me to say. For some reason, a couple of my family members did not understand why I would say that. When I was in elementary school, I was trying to say the word miserable and I happened to stumble a bit. One kid made fun of me, which made me feel bad. Another time was when I was saying my name. I stumbled and a few students laughed at me. Sometimes when I would read, I would have a tough time saying certain words and phrases. A couple of family members would interrupt me. My grandmother had always told me that I was thinking faster than I was talking. I took it as a compliment because it was a good thing to think. A few close family members would talk for me in public when I was little because they were trying to protect me from being made fun of. But when I got a little older, they still did it and I would get rather frustrated. For example, on Monday, July 19th, 1999, someone close to me had explained to a young lady that I had done something that I should not have done. When she asked me why I did it, he jumped in by saying to her not to ask me why. The fact that I was not given enough time or even a chance to respond affected me for a long time. It was the latter part of the 90s when technology started to become an integral part of my life. In 1998, my folks bought a Hewlett-Packard PC and I was excited about it. I started writing emails to certain people like my dad's friend Mark, some relatives of mine, friends, etc. I would also chat online. This dramatically changed the way I communicated because I did not always have to talk and I could respond at my own pace. By using email, chatting online, and texting, which I started doing a few years ago, I did not really feel that I was always under pressure to respond at a particular time. But it did not change certain people's mentality when it came to talking to others face to face and my having a voice in certain situations. When I was in Bronx Community College in St. John's, I had to take a few classes where I was required to give a presentation. I did not let my speech impediment get in the way of my trying hard and staying focused. A few days and even a few hours before I would have to present something, I would practice reading it over and over again until I was satisfied. When it really counted, I did exceptionally well, which made me very happy. when I would present at conferences, I put in the same kind of effort and I did well. My folks and my good friends were very proud of me. I have been misunderstood countless times and in so many instances when I would stutter. As I stated earlier, when I was younger, I was asked a question by an outside person or even a relative. A few close people to me would jump in and respond for me sometimes. They might have thought that they were helping, but they really were not. I felt that this has been misunderstood because I really wanted to be given a chance to respond the way that I wanted to and not what they thought I wanted to. I also wanted them to understand that because I process information differently from others, I needed a few extra seconds to answer. Another example of my being misunderstood was in the summer of 2006 when I was on vacation in Springfield, Massachusetts. I happened to stumble somewhat and one of my relatives made fun of me and he said that I was hesitating. One other time he would ask me one question after the other and I strongly felt that he did not give me a fair chance to answer them. This really upset me. I also felt that he really did not try to understand me the way he should have. Also, I have had a few people make assumptions that when I stuttered, I did not know what I was trying to say, which was not true at all. I had had others finish my sentences for me, and I really felt agitated by this. I felt that others were not patient with me either. Sometimes I also felt that I had allowed others to speak for me when I was a kid, and maybe I should have done a little more not to let it happen. But when I tried to stand up for myself, I felt ignored. These types of things and other episodes have frustrated me to the point where I was filled with rage and I have violently lost my temper at home toward my close family members on a few occasions. In 2007, I started seeing a speech pathologist at the Teachers College at Columbia University. This was the first time that I had gotten that one-on-one attention the way that I really needed for a long time. I go there once a month. What she and I do is practice conversations, and I also read from my books. I practice some techniques like light touch, eye contact, voicing, stretching, etc. For example, when saying the word company, put the light touch on the C, then put the emphasis on the first syllable by stretching it and then saying the rest of the word. When I practice these things, she tells me to go slowly. I have gotten a lot better with my speech, even though I still stumble sometimes. But it's probably because I get nervous and or anxious in certain situations. I have told her about my past experiences in terms of others finishing my sentences and interrupting me, and she is very understanding. She tells me that when others do that to me, that they think that they are helping, but they are not. I have done better at coping. For example, if someone should ask my name, I take my time and say it. I have gotten better at telling others in a nice way to please let me finish what I'm saying, but I don't say it as much to others in certain situations because I may not know when a good time is to tell them. I would not want it to come out in an abrupt manner which might get me in trouble. Also, I do better in general when conversations are more structured in terms of having more time, having moderators, etc. Chances are better that I won't be interrupted, but sometimes others do it anyway, and they're not supposed to. When I order food, I do pretty well for the most part, and when I do stumble, I do my best to get through it. In recent years, my close family members have gotten better with me. The advice I would give to parents of children who stutter would be to place them in settings where others are understanding and supportive of them. I would also tell them to have more conversations with their kids that are structured in terms of time so that they don't get interrupted and so that one person is not doing all of the talking. When asking questions, be patient. Be patient by giving them a few extra seconds to respond, because if you don't, they are likely to get frustrated or not respond at all. I would tell parents not to interrupt them so much, particularly if they are making an effort at getting better. This is whether or not they are reading or speaking. In fact, I would tell parents to point out to their kids that they are making some progress in their flow of speech. This would make them feel better about themselves. Otherwise, they will feel like no matter what they do, it is not good enough, which would make them feel demoralized. I would also tell them to encourage their children to find other methods of communicating, such as email, writing things down, online chatting that is safe, and texting. This will help their confidence immensely while getting better in their speech. I would tell children to take more time in saying a word. I would tell these kids to keep trying no matter what, and eventually they will get much better. Thanks, and please feel free to have any questions or write comments that are constructive and not negative. All right, thank you. Bye.